won't let you down.
What do you make of some of these allegations, though? I mean, he himself has admitted to fabricating parts of his resume.
Yeah, and so did a lot of people here in the Senate and others.
That's Kevin McCarthy. There are many ways you could play the scandal around a rookie freshman that you didn't really know in George Santos, including saying that when people elect a representative, there's got to be a high bar to deal with it. But instead, McCarthy seems to have settled on saying everybody's a liar, the kind of whataboutism that has become more common in the Trump era of the Republican Party. And these are absolutely huge lies, which, of course, Mr. Santos has admitted, meaning they're no longer in the era of contested, debatable things. They're things that he had to cough up and admit he previously lied about. He is the scandal-ridden Republican freshman from New York. He lied about where he went to school, where he worked, his family's origins, his religion. He's now facing new questions about an unregistered fund that apparently raised money for him and questions about the source of his own money. He faces multiple investigations, and there are members of Congress in his own party, in his own state, that means they share that same delegation, who've decided to come out and draw a line and say, if he cannot address or explain all this stuff, and mostly he's been confessing, then he should resign now. Well, Santos is not doing that. He has become sort of kind of bad famous in Washington. I can tell you most freshmen don't get this kind of press retinue, if you will, kind of a TMZ for liars. George Santos, though, is trying to flip it and do his own type of media. He went over to the Steve Bannon podcast to talk not even to a friendly member of the so-called media or whatnot, but just to another member of Congress, guest host, Republican Matt Gaetz.
I could ask you what it's like to be an embattled congressman, but I kind of know a little bit about that scene. George, you've heard just there Congressman D'Esposito, your Republican colleague, calling for you to resign. Nick Langworthy also has your reaction.
You know, Matt, it's their prerogative. I came here to serve the people, not politicians and party leaders, and I'm going to do just that. I was elected by 142,000 people. Until those same 142,000 people tell me they don't want me, we'll find out in 2 years.
We'll find out in 2 years. And again, that's a process defense. Other scandal-ridden politicians have made the same point, that they can't just be drummed out by colleagues, politicians as he put it, or some vague moving standard that if they're not legally ejected, then they'll wait till the next election. Now, then you have McCarthy, as we mentioned, who, of course, had his own problems with Mr. Gaetz, the guest host there. Apparently, he just doesn't want to deal with the Santos thing, doesn't want to stay neutral, which is an option, but the questions are not evaporating.
Have you made any decision as to how you're going to handle George Santos in his time?
No, but I'll tell you when we do.
Are you going to take any action against him at this point? Are any of these allegations acceptable to you?
What are the charges against him?
Well, I mean,
is there a charge against him? You know, in America today, you're innocent until proven guilty. You're referring to George Santos. He's got a long